Hi, Assalamualaikum. This is Amna here. How are you? I'm Amna from My English Matters, and I'm here live today. I'm going to be answering some of the questions that we received through email. So on Tuesday, just 2 days ago, I sent out an email to all of you people in our subscriber list for questions that I can ask in this Facebook Live. So I've collected about 8 questions today that I'm going to be answering from you. And if you do have a question for me, what I'll do is I'll answer the first 8 questions, and if I can't, and if we have some time I'll try to keep it to 1 hour, and if we have some time after all the questions are answered, I'll answer your questions in the comments. And if you also sent us an email yesterday or the day before, and I don't address it today, then we will answer your questions through email and also through email. Sorry. Okay, so I can see hi Juliana. Hi Mazween. Mazween is one of our students. Usha, I can see you. Good afternoon. Yes, it's afternoon, right? It's midday. Let's see, Zaraifa. Oh, from Terengganu. Okay, so thank you for saying hi to me. Before I begin, I just want to share with you that this morning I had a bad dream. I dreamt that I woke up at 1 p.m. and our live is at 12. And I was like, oh my gosh, I missed the Facebook Live. I've disappointed my sisters. I've disappointed all you guys. And then I woke up, I was like, oh my God, Alhamdulillah, it's just a dream. Okay, so I'm gonna, I think it's the reason why I had a bad dream is because I didn't wash my feet before I slept. Because there's this Malay superstition that says that if you don't wash your feet before bed, you get nightmares, and I didn't do that. I'm not really superstitious, but maybe it has some truth in it. Hi, Siti Mariam. Siti Mariam is one of our students. Hi, Kak Z. Can see you guys. All right, oops. The comments are coming in really fast. Hope you guys are all well. And how was your Hari Raya? Okay, you can't balik kampung, right? If you're not in kampung. Tell me how your Raya was. Where did you celebrate? Did you meet any of your family and friends on the first day? Walaikum salam. Shira. Rosie, just a dream, thank God. Thank God, alhamdulillah. All right, so if you're not familiar with My English Matters is, so far it's me, Madam Azima, and Aisha. We are sisters. We come from the same father and same mother. Real sisters, not like quotation mark sisters. What we do is we teach online through our online workshops, through our classes, and we also have live workshops. But this year we haven't had a live real event workshop yet because of the coronavirus, but we've been doing everything online. And we started My English Matters in 2016, and we are still going strong, and we're growing our community. And so glad if you joined us, this community. Let me see. Assalamualaikum, madam. I felt that eventually I found them to guide me intensively in English. Oh, thank you, Yati. So glad to hear that. Rosie says, I celebrate Hari Raya with my small family. How nice. So did I. I spent it here in Shah Alam with my family of 3 boys and my husband. So it's just the 3 of us. We did a lot of video calls, so that was fun. But it was only half a day. And my kids were happy that it was only half a day because they could change out of their baju Melayu and they could play games. So what to do? Let me see. Nurliza says, I'm from Sungai Petani, Kedah. Hello, nice to see you. Okay, so I'm going to start with the questions now. I could spend all day looking at your comments, but I'm going to start with the questions. So I have 8 questions. Again, I have 8 questions that I got from email. Some of the emails I can't answer here. We got this morning and yesterday, so I just chose 8. And if we have time, we will answer it. If I can't answer your questions in the email today, we will reply your email, or we will answer your questions in next week's Facebook Live, which will be done by Madam Azima. All right, so the first question is by Alias Abdul Aziz. This is his question. Okay. I copied all the questions in one document, so it's easy. He asked how to find a speaking partner. So I think what you mean, Alias, that you want to find someone that you can speak English with, right? A partner or friend. Now, the way that you're going to have to do that is you're going to have to be proactive in putting yourself in a situation where people speak English. Maybe the situation that you're in now, the environment that you're in now, you don't have anybody that you can speak English with. So I'm assuming that you are Malay because of your name. So maybe a lot of the people in your environment, in your social circle, your circle of friends, they speak Malay. So you're going to have to be proactive in finding an environment where people speak English. So what you can do is you can join a class or a course. You can join My English Matters. We have our free stuff. We have our free Facebook group, the My English Matters group, where there's like about 1,000 people in that group. So you can get to know some of the people in our community, and maybe you can post something on the wall and ask if somebody would be willing to be your speaking partner. So it's online. So it can either be online or it can be in a live class. Once this whole pandemic is over, you can join a live class and meet new friends. That's how you can start looking for a speaking partner. All right. So there's 2 tips there. Join a class or join a free Facebook group like the My English Matters group. So I hope you've already joined that. And you have to be proactive and ask. You have to ask because nobody will know that you're looking for a speaking partner if you don't say so. So I hope that helps to answer your question, Alias. The next question is from Faris Abdullah. Okay, this is his question. Hi, madam. How can I improve my English, especially in speaking, which is very important for my career? And now I am 30 years old. Is that too late to restart learning again? Should I attend any course or class to improve my English? All right, that's Faris's question. So Faris says, how can he improve his English speaking? Because it's very important in his career. And now he's 30 years old. Is it too late to start? Firstly, we're always going to think we're too old, right? How many of you in your 20s thought that you were too old? When I was 20, I thought I was too old. And now I'm 30 plus. And I'm thinking 20, you're still a baby, okay? And maybe when you were 40, you're going to think 30s. When you're in your 30s, you're still a baby. So we're always going to think that we are too old for anything, either too old or too young for anything. So put the thought that you're too old aside, and it's not too late to start learning anything. If right now you're 30 and the average lifespan is 80, 90, 70, you still have 50 years ahead of you. If God allows us to live that long, you still have so much time. You're not even halfway through your life yet. So forget about being too old to learn anything. I have been still learning how to be a better speaker, how to be a better writer. I'm always learning myself new things. And I also had to join online courses and classes to learn how to start an online business like what we're doing now. I had to learn all this. I also had to learn how to speak on video. I would never have imagined that I would be able to speak on Facebook Live like this. It scared the heck out of me. But it's never too late to learn anything. And what matters is the time that you put in to that skill. So the skill that you want is to be fluent in English, right? What matters is that you need to put the time in to learn and to implement. Maybe you think that I'm fluent in English. It's because I have spent the time learning, whether it's learning on the job, learning in my real life, how to speak. So maybe the level of English that you want, say, is here, and you want to go here, right? You're going to have to put in extra time because the time that you've already spent learning English has brought you here, and you're going to have to spend more time to go to this next level. So the way that you can improve your English is you can learn for free online. You can learn all sorts of things for free. There's so much resource online that you can watch videos, you can read articles that can improve your English, or you can subscribe to a class, enroll in a class, an online class or a real class. Like I said to Alias earlier, you can either go online, or if you want a faster track, you want to have a structured type of learning, you can join a class. Because last 2 weeks, I think one person asked me the question, is there a fast track to learning English, to being fluent in English? The fastest track is to get yourself a teacher, get yourself coached, get yourself trained so that you know what to focus on, and you're not like randomly choosing, reading this article, randomly watching this video. So you know where to focus on one by one without being random. So that's why it's important also to have a teacher to teach you. And then, yeah, I just want to show you the story that I also invested in a course for writing. So I believe that my writing is quite good. I've always loved writing ever since I was a kid. But I realized that I needed to be better at writing, because we do a lot of writing here in My English Matters. I write every single week to our subscribers. And then when I look at my past work, I've been writing on the blog since 2016. When I look at my past work, I can see where I could improve now. So I'm always learning myself. So even if you're learning 5 minutes a day, it will add up every day. I'm not saying that you should learn 5 minutes a day. It's better if you spend more than 5 minutes a day learning English. But what matters is the time that you put into learning. Okay, so I hope that helps to answer your question, Faris. All right, let's go to the next question. Next question is by Shamsia. So Shamsia says, "Hi Amna, thanks for all the emails. I hope that I can speak English fluently and clearly like you and the team. My question is, how to improve my listening and my pronunciation? Give me more tips, please. Thank you." All right, Shamsia, thanks for your question. So I wrote down my notes here. How to improve your listening and pronunciation. Right, the fastest way that you can improve your listening and pronunciation is by not just listening to what people say, listening to the radio, listening to podcasts, but you also see the words that they speak. Listening to podcasts is great. I do that. But if you want to improve your pronunciation, fastest way is, if you watch TV, watch it with the English subtitles. So the person it's an English show, it's English speaking show, and it has English subtitles. That's the best way for you to improve your listening and your pronunciation, because you can, when you do that, you will notice some words that you don't know, and then you can see the words in the subtitles. Because when you listen, just listen, and you're like, oh, what does that mean? I don't know what that means, and I don't even know how it's spelled. So when you can see it and how it's spelled, you can also like Google up what it means, and you also know how to pronounce it. So I think the best way to improve your listening and pronunciation is by listening while reading the words, right? I just want to share with you an example of a word that I learned through lots of listening podcasts. I like to listen to a lot of marketing podcasts because I have a background in marketing, and I'm also doing marketing in My English Matters. The word that they like, marketing podcasts like to use, is segue. So segue means a smooth transition from one topic or section to the next. I always heard that word. I've heard it all the time, but I didn't know how it was spelled. I thought it was like something like SEGWAY. And then I saw that word through a lot of reading, and it's actually SEGUE. It's spelled SEGUE, and it's pronounced segue. So I wouldn't have known that if I didn't hear it and if I didn't see that word online or whatever content that you like to consume. So I hope that helps. So if you want to improve your listening and pronunciation, listen with the words. Right. Let's see some of your comments. I don't like to ignore you guys. I really love to speak. Hi, Bonde. Nadia is here. Hi, Nadia. Nadia is also one of our students. Let's see. G says how to make sure our pronunciation is correct. This is exactly what I said. Listen while reading the words. Number 3, I am a secretary. I always try to speak English at work, but my boss always replies in Malay, and he seems more comfortable to speak in Malay. It's okay if he speaks in Malay to you. Just continue speaking English. Nobody's going to judge you. Just continue speaking English. It's fine. Okay, I'm going to go to the next question, which is by Muhammad Haris. Salam teacher Amna. Waalaikumsalam. Love, thanks for the kind update. I would like to link sorry, I think he's saying that he wants to go to our Facebook and follow us. So for such a question, I prefer to learn how to use 4WH questions in more detail with correctly. Okay. I'm always confused because all daily communication uses it. Selamat Hari Raya, teacher. Selamat Hari Raya, Muhammad. So Muhammad is asking me, he wants me to explain more about the 4WH in detail. So I'm not sure what you mean by in detail, whether you mean it's 4WH as a speaking framework or 4WH as the meaning of it. So if you're not familiar with what 4WH is who, what, where, when, how. So who is siapa, what, apa, where, di mana, when, bila, how, bagaimana. So who, what, where, when, how. I think what you mean is how you can use that in speaking, right? If I'm not mistaken. So I'll just show you how it can be used for WH in speaking. So say you have to present something at work, you can apply that speaking framework at work, because sometimes we have to speak on the spot, speak spontaneously. So try to think like what. First you think about who. Okay, who is involved in this problem? Who are the stakeholders? Who are affected by this problem? What? What is the problem? What is the problem that you're talking about? Okay. Where? This can be a location, or it can also be where this problem, what affects this problem. Sorry, this problem is affecting in what area. It doesn't necessarily have to be a location. It could be a department. It could be a specific area that is affected by this problem. And then how? How are you going to resolve it? And how are you going to move forward from it? So using that 4WH framework, it can be helpful if you have to speak on the spot. Okay, so who, what, where, when, how. I hope that helps with your question. Next question is by Noor Amelia Nabila. Hi, Teacher Amna. Hello. Firstly, thanks for the invitation for live on Thursday. I'm so excited to learn more about English. Here's the question that I want to ask. What is the way to enhance our vocabulary? Number 2, how to improve our grammar? Right, so she has 2 questions. What's the way to enhance vocabulary? And number 2, how to improve your grammar? I can read English books, magazines, and others, but I can't write better essays and speak properly. I'm so sad because I've tried so many times to excel in English. Thank you for the tips, Noor Amelia. Okay, Noor Amelia, how can you enhance your vocabulary? We get this question quite often, like how do I enhance my vocabulary? I go blank. And to tell you the truth, and just by reading your email, I believe that your vocabulary is sufficient. You don't need to know so many words to be fluent in English. I think what the problem here is that maybe you struggle with linking ideas together, and or maybe you can't find the right word that you want to say. So how to enhance your vocabulary is by you can learn like transition phrases that you can use. Transition phrases are like to start off, or you can like link different ideas together with these transition phrases. So you can use that. And also how you can enhance your vocabulary is by always speaking, learning how to connect your ideas one to another. So if you go blank, so for example, this morning I was looking for a word that I wanted to use, and I was like, what is that word? And then I thought, never mind, I'll just use the word help. So the word that I wanted was actually facilitate, but I just used the word help, and I had to Google it. I had to Google like synonym or thesaurus. What's the synonym for help? So the word that I was looking for was actually facilitate. So now the next time that I want to use the word facilitate, it's not, I'm going to remember it because I struggled and I actually looked for it online. So it'll be easier for me to remember. So every time you want to say something and you forget the word, you don't know the word that you're looking for, you can find a simpler word, and then you go back, you look for the synonym or the thesaurus, look for the thesaurus online, you find the word that you're looking for, and you just keep it in mind, or you just keep it in a notebook and use that the next time that you want to use that word. And that's how you can enhance your vocabulary. By always speaking, by knowing what are the words that you struggle with, that you want to use, find the synonym, use the thesaurus online. All of this can be found online, so that it becomes easier for you to remember the next time that you have to use it, right? So the more that you use the language, the fluent that you will be. And sometimes when I'm speaking, I mix with Malay because I can't find the English word, but then I go back and I look for the translation of that Malay word. I'm like, oh, okay, that's the word that I was looking for. And I'll use it the next time, and I'll sound better the next time. Okay, Amelia, thank you for your question. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, she had another question. How to improve grammar? How to improve grammar? Grammar, I believe, is just like writing, speaking. Grammar is more of a skill also. I don't call it a skill, but it's about accuracy, right? The way that you can improve grammar, to be honest, I did not learn grammar growing up. During the 90s, when I was in England, they didn't teach us grammar at all. They taught us reading, writing, but we were never taught grammar. I think now they do in the British education system. Now they teach grammar, because I noticed that a lot of my friends from England who are native English people, when they write now, their grammar is not perfect as well, because they were never taught it in school. So those are the that were brought up in the 90s in England. So I have the upper hand because you were taught grammar in school, I would presume that. So grammar, it's something that can be taught. You can learn it. You can join a class. You can join our class. We also teach grammar. But you can also learn it yourself by doing a lot of reading. Because I know that the Malay language is very different from the English language, particularly because Malay does not have tenses. English has tenses, like past tense, present tense, past, present, future tense, whereas Malay, we don't really have tenses. So that's what you can focus on if you want to start learning grammar. Focus on tenses, but just do a lot of reading and a lot of writing as well. The way that you can improve a certain skill, whether it's grammar, reading, writing, or speaking, is by learning and also implementing. So the more you learn, the better you'll be, because you'll be able to see your mistakes from the past. And the more you implement it, the faster it will be and the easier it will get for you, right? So learning, it could be like self-learning, watching videos online, reading articles online, or it could be with a teacher or a trainer that can help you with your grammar. All right, so I hope that helps with your question. The next question comes from, let me see. Oh yeah, I just want to highlight what Amelia says, that she reads a lot of English books and magazines, but she still can't write better essays and speak properly. Because right now you're reading a lot, you are learning a lot, but maybe you are lacking in implementation, right? Because you say you can't write better. The only way that you can improve your writing is by writing more. The more you write, the better you'll be. Like I said before, I used to write. I've been writing for so long, But when I look at my writing from the past, I can see that I have grown a lot. I have improved a lot in my writing as well. So you have to do a lot of implementing. Next question comes from Naima. Okay, Naima asked this question in Malay, so I'm going to speak it in Malay. If you don't understand Malay, I'll translate it for you, but I'll read it in Malay first. Saya faham kalau orang berkomunikasi dengan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris, tapi saya tak confident nak bercakap. Sebab saya tahu banyak kesalahan grammar dalam percakapan saya. Bagaimana saya nak bercakap dengan yakin? So the question that Naima says in English, if I translate it, is I understand if people communicate in English, but I'm not confident in speaking because I know I'll make a lot of grammar mistakes when I speak. How can I speak with confidence? All right, Naima, great question. I want you to, I'm sure that you've already gone through our 7 tips with confidence, to speak with confidence, sorry. Can Madam Azima or Aisha, can you share that link, myenglishmatters.com here, so that people who are watching this who have not joined that free email course can join it? Because Naima, I think that it's your confidence that is holding you back. You're so worried about grammar, and actually we addressed that in the first 3 tips. So the first thing I want you to do is go through that course again. I know you've gone through it, but I want you to go through tip 1, 2, and 3 again. And that talks about the mindset that you need to speak confidently, even if your grammar is not perfect. What's important in speaking is that you get your message across, not worrying about your grammar. Grammar is more important for writing, but when it comes to speaking, especially when you're speaking at work, you have to speak up, even if you think that your grammar is not good, right? When I appreciate it if people speak to me, even if they think that the grammar is not good, because your voice matters. It's really important for you to speak, right? To go through that, especially tip 1, 2, 3. Let's see, what else were you asking? So because you can understand, but you're just not confident. So it's just a mindset thing, right? Just speak even if you make grammar mistakes. So, right, I'm going to go to the next question, which is by Fatin. So Fatin's also asking in Malay. Fatin, soalan saya ada 3. 1, number 1, macam mana nak fasih bercakap bahasa Inggeris? Number 2, macam mana nak wujudkan keyakinan dalam diri untuk bercakap bahasa Inggeris? Number 3, tips untuk pandai bercakap, faham menulis dalam bahasa Inggeris. Alright. Fatin. So Fatin, also, your question is related to number 1, how can I be fluent in English? Number 2, how do I become confident in myself to speak English? And number 3, do you have any tips to speak confidently to speak and write with confidence in English? We have a lot of tips actually. My number 1 tip is, like I said before, learning and implementing. That's the only tips. And we also have our 7 tips that I want you to go through. So that's how you can start going through those 7 tips to learn and implement. What was the other question again? Just fluency, yeah. And you always have to have equal amount of learning and equal amount of implementing. If we are learning all the time and we're not implementing, it's not going to help. So implement means doing the work, writing a lot, speaking a lot. That's what's important. And learning at the same time, so that you can see what mistakes that you've made. So if we're just implementing but we're not learning, we're going to repeat the same mistakes, right? So if we're learning and implementing at the same time, we can see where our mistakes are so that we can avoid it in the future. And also, you can learn through, like I said, you can learn for free, or you can even join our online course or our classes, because you're asking about kefasihan, right? So kefasihan is fluency. This is something that we'll be teaching, that we do teach in Communicate with Confidence, which is our online course, which will be open for registration this month. 17th of June. So we really hope that you will consider registering for that, because we can only teach you so much through our Facebook Lives and through our free videos and our free articles. But if you want to have structured learning, step by step, what to focus on one at a time, then you're going to have to invest some of your time in a real course, whether it's online or whether it's live. In online, yes, we do have our online course, but the fastest way for you to learn is to have a teacher and to have a structured curriculum so that you know what to focus on one by one. So you're not like randomly getting all information from everywhere, and you're guided by us. All right. Thanks, Fatin, for your question. Right. I'm going to go to the last question, which is from Nadia, Ika Nadia. So Ika Nadia wrote us a long email, but I'm going to just focus on the part on her question. So Ika says, I am a shy person. I'm the introvert type. I tend to get nervous quickly and always have a problem to answer spontaneously. For example, when people ask me about my opinion on something, I usually can't give an answer on the spot because I can't think of anything. Maybe because I'm too nervous and my brain can't process. And sometimes I have an opinion, but I prefer to stay silent because I'm afraid that my opinion is not good enough or I give the wrong answer. I guess my biggest problem is I don't want to look stupid and I'm always concerned what other people might think of me. So how can I overcome this feeling? Okay, thank you for your question, Nadia, Ika Nadia. All right. I just want to share with you that you said that you are a shy person, you're an introvert. And I want to share with you that I am also an introvert. And now when do you do those like tests like introvert or extroversion? I always get that I'm an introvert. Sometimes I get ambivert, but if the test doesn't have ambivert in it, I always get introvert. So I'm more introverted than I am extroverted. So I can actually relate with you when you say that, because earlier in my career, I was really quiet as well because I always thought that my voice didn't matter. I always thought that somebody else was smarter than me, or whatever I said was not important. That's how I felt. And then as I grew older, I realized that people want to hear from you. That's why they hire you, right? That's why they call you for those meetings. Your voice matters. And even if you think that you don't want to sound stupid, maybe you think that you sound stupid, but if you voice out your opinion, maybe somebody will be like, oh, I'm glad that she asked that question, because that was something that I was thinking as well, but I didn't want to sound stupid. So your voice matters, and people want to hear from you. And being an introvert, we're not going to talk just for the sake of talking, right? Being an introvert, people will know that you're the type of person who will speak up when it's necessary. And if you have something important to say that can help you, that can help your company that you work with, that can help other people in your company, then you have an obligation to speak up. And if you're so worried about how you look, that you look stupid, or what people think of you, then I don't want to say this, but you're actually being selfish because you're not speaking up, right? You need to speak up for the sake of yourself and for the sake of others. Okay. And you say here that, and I just want to say that this is something that I struggled with as well. Growing up in my 20s, I struggled with speaking up as well because I felt that my voice didn't matter, that I was not smart enough. I don't know, I was just scared that people would think that, oh gosh, because when I was in university, people said I was a show-off, so I became quiet. And then when I started working, I just thought that my voice didn't matter anymore. So yeah, speak up because people want to hear from you. If you're scared that you sound stupid, just remember that whatever you say, there's probably somebody in that same room who is glad that you asked that question. Okay, and you said that, for example, when people ask me about my opinion on something, I usually can't give an answer on the spot because I can't think of anything. Maybe because I'm too nervous and my brain can't process. All right, so it seems to me that your problem is not English, because when I read your email, your English is very good already. Very few grammar mistakes. You sound fluent. But the problem is when somebody asks you a question on the spot, you can't answer. And we have a technique that I taught this last 2 weeks ago, which is about buying time. So if somebody asks us a question, right, and we know the answer, but because we are on the spot, you know, we have all these eyes looking at us, we're like, we need time to think, right? So what you can use is the buying time technique. Buying time technique is when somebody asks you a question, you use certain phrases that can give you time to think about the answer without panicking, without looking like you're shocked. So if somebody asks it, so these are some of the buying time phrases that you can use. Hold on. It's called filler phrases, right? So if somebody asks you a question, wait, what? Ika Nadia. So Ika Nadia, what is your opinion on this? And you can say, I'm so glad you asked me that. So that is a filler phrase. You are buying time to think so that you don't look shocked, that you can feel calm as you answer the question. Because you know the answer. I know that you know the answer, but you just need a bit of time to think, right? Or I see that you're interested in this subject. Or you could just say, thank you for your question. Or I get this question quite often. So those are filler phrases that you can use to buy time. So if somebody asks you a question on the spot, use these filler phrases, memorize these filler phrases, so that when you are facing the situation, you can pull it out of your pocket and use it. Okay, so I have answered all 8 questions. Wow, that felt fast. Let me see. Yeah. So I think we have a bit of time. We have like 20 minutes before 1 hour that I can answer some of your questions. So let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, Khadija. Yes, Kazi says, still I need to, wait, sorry. The comments are going fast. Still you need to improve a lot. Learning journey is infinite. Correct. Yep, I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to be a better speaker. When I'm doing these Facebook Lives, and then I watch it again, I hate watching myself, honestly. I've always not liked watching myself on video, but sometimes I force myself to watch so that I can see like what can I do better. In the early days when I did video, I noticed that I always look up like that, and it looked funny. So I thought, okay, I gotta stop that habit, and I gotta look down or look to the side instead. But if I do look up, don't judge me. It's something that comes naturally. I noticed that I always look up from the video. So always trying to improve myself. And I noticed in my previous videos, my older videos, I used to always say the word like. I did this interview with a podcaster, and I was speaking to her, and then I noticed that I always use the word like. You know, when you speak in Malay, it's like macam, I think so lah. You say like a lot, and I noticed that I said like a lot, so I had to remove like from my sentences. So I'm always learning myself. It's a lot of self-reflection. It's also about asking your peers, asking your friends. So I always ask Azima and Aisha, like, what do you think about that? And we share comments with each other, feedback, constructive feedback with one another. I mean, non-constructive feedback is not really important. Nadia says, I have the same habit, always look up, as if the idea or answer is up there. Yes, actually, there's a reason why we look up. I read this somewhere. Okay, I don't know if it's true, but I read this somewhere that if you look up, it's because you are trying to think of the answer from your head. If you look down, you're looking for the answer from your heart, how you feel. And there's also a reason why you look to the side. I can't remember, but I saw the video on it's a YouTube channel called Charisma on Command, and they like to analyze why people act certain ways. So I watched that video. Like, some people like to look to the side, some people look down, some people look up. Look up is usually you're thinking about something that's intellectual. Okay, Rosie, you look good. Thank you. Azrina, how to get accent like yours? I wish to speak like you one fine day by joining your online class. How to get accent like mine? Actually, to be honest, Azrina, I don't know what my accent is. I grew up when I was 6. I went to England with my family, and I came back here when I was about 14. So we spent about 8 years. Yeah, we spent about 8 years in England. So all of my primary school was in England, and I only came back here. I was in Form 2, right? So that's probably why I have this accent. But even if I do have this accent, I came back with a Manchester accent because we stayed in Manchester. So people didn't really understand the Manchester accent. It's quite different. I don't think I can do the Manchester accent anymore. There was a point where I spoke with my friends with a Manchester accent, and they looked at me funny. They're like, what did she say? So I had to change my accent to make it more Malaysian. So my accent is probably Malaysian, I would say. And then I get comments from people like my accent sounds fake. So just do your accent, do the accent that you are comfortable with. And I just want to say that we got this question from someone who said that when he speaks English, people laugh at him. And I don't think it's because of the accent. I think it's maybe because he doesn't sound natural, or maybe he rarely uses English. So when he speaks English, people think that he's trying to be funny. So if you are always speaking English, you will pick up a Malaysian accent that will sound natural. Okay, so don't try to copy any accent. Just do you. I think I love the Malaysian accent. I think there's this survey that says the Malaysian accent is sounds attractive or something. I don't know. Okay, Kak Z says, great, just be you. Yep. Do you believe that reading aloud can help better speaking for average learners? Yes, I do believe that reading aloud. As a kid, I used to always read aloud. Yeah, it does help. It does help, especially with your pronunciation. And if you find a word that you're struggling to pronounce or you don't know how to pronounce it, you can always Google it. Google the word, what it means and how to pronounce it. Turn on your speaker and listen to how it's pronounced. And it also kadang-kadang kita punya lidah cengkeras kan, because we always speak Malay. So, and we're not used to speaking English. So it will help you to sound more fluent. Let's see. Any other questions? If you have any questions, just drop me a comment and then inshallah I'll try to answer it. Latifa says, hi madam, how do I join your online class? I'm really interested in speaking English with confidence. So Latifa, we would love to have you as our student. Inshallah, on the 17th of June, which is on Wednesday, next week, we will open up registration for Communicate with Confidence, CWC. Some of our students are also here in the comments. We love you guys. So we'll be opening CWC on 17th of June, inshallah. I hope you're already on our email list, because we will let you know through email once registration is open. If you're not on our email list, go to myenglishmatters.com, fill in your name and email address, and you'll get our 7 tips. And then after that, every Thursday we send emails, and we will let you know when registration for our online classes or courses are open through email. All right, let's see, do we have any more questions? I'm going all the way up to see if you have any questions that I can answer right now before we go. Let's see. I can't speak with someone. I'm just going to answer the questions that are not already addressed in this live earlier today. Without thinking. So Hanisa says, how can I speak without thinking while translate in Malay language? All right. So how can you speak without thinking while translating? All right. This is, I understand, because your Malay is your first language. So what you tend to do is you think in Malay, and then there's like a barrier from your brain to your mouth that has to translate to English, right? The only way that you can do that is through practice. Keep doing it all the time, and it will be faster. It's like this, like a door, like a dam here. But the more that you do it, the faster it gets. So you will have to continue translating, and then once you're used to that, your brain will get used to just using English without having to translate. So just keep on doing that. And just to share with you that I used to work, well, I just stopped working as a translator. I used to translate shows. I did that for 6 years. I translated TV shows from Malay to English and English to Malay. And at first it was hard. It was really hard to translate English to Malay. But the more I did it, the faster I am. The more I did, the faster I got, right? And sometimes when I watch Malay or English shows, I'm able to speak out loud in the opposite language. So if I'm watching an English show, I'm able to translate off the cuff with just saying it out loud without even having to write, because I did it for so long. For 6 years I was translating shows, so it became easier. It became faster for me to translate on the spot. I hope that helps. It's just that you just have to put in the time to practice. And the other day we were watching this movie called Okja on Netflix. Have you watched that? Okja. It's a really interesting movie. The director is the director of the Oscar-winning show Parasite, and Okja is it's Korean. So they speak mostly Korean, and then the parts where they speak Korean, my son, my 6-year-old, of course he doesn't understand Korean, so he was upset that he couldn't watch this movie. But when they spoke Korean, there was translation, and he can't read yet. He's 6. He can't read as fast. Like, he can read some words, but he can't read as fast. So what I did was, from the English translation, I would translate it in Malay for him. So like on the spot in Malay, because I had the practice of translating a lot. And he could enjoy the movie because I was translating for him in Malay. So I just want to share with you that it just takes time. It takes time for you to practice. All right. Let's see if I have any more questions. I'm going up, so I'll go to your comments if you just left me a comment just now. How to practice speaking without partner, Najah says. Without a partner, you'll have to speak as like a monologue. Speak in your car, speak while you do your chores. You could do videos like this. I don't have a partner. I really don't really have a partner to speak as well. But doing videos could help so that you can see where you can improve. So if you don't have a partner, do videos, talk to yourself on camera. Okay, let's see what else. Mariam says, how to confront people who like to tease when we start to speak English. How to confront them? Actually, I've never really confronted anyone who teased me when I speak English. So people tease me when I speak English because they think I have a fake accent. You can't please everyone, right? So if you're good at English, they're not gonna be happy. You don't need to confront them. Just let them be. That's what I do. People make fun of me. People say I'm arrogant when I speak English. People say my accent is fake. I just ignore them. Or just, like, if they're my friends, I just laugh it off. Laugh with them. All right. Okay, I'm going to go down to the comments, to the ones at the bottom. What does CWC stand for? CWC is communicate with confidence. CWC. Okay, sorry if I used CWC. We're so used to using CWC that we forget that some people don't understand what it is. CWC is communicate with confidence, the name of our online course, which will open for registration on 17th of June, Wednesday. Thanks, Latifa, for your question. How to train my children to speak English confidently. They seem to refuse to speak in English. I don't know why, but they can sing along an English song. Then I noticed that they just memorize but don't understand what they're saying. The best way that you can train them is to speak to them all the time in English. Me myself, I don't speak English as much with my children. I speak Malay with them actually, and I started introducing English when my first one was about 7, I think 6 or 7, and of course they were not happy with it. I spoke to them. At first it seemed awkward, but after a while they get used to it. You just keep on, don't give up. Just keep on speaking English with them, and they will pick it up. I also wrote a blog post about that. It's called My Experience Teaching English to My Kids, and now my children they're quite fluent in English. They watch a lot of cartoons in English. They play Roblox and they chat in English. Yeah, it takes time. You're not going to see results overnight, but it takes time. And Madam Azimah also wrote an article. Maybe Aisha or Azimah, you can share that link of those 2 blog posts, like my experience teaching English to my children and how to teach. I think it's called How to Teach English to Your Children. Right, let me see what else you got for me. Hi, madam. Do you have any recommendations for English TV shows to learn English faster? I know Madam Azimah, she likes to watch Papa English or something like that. That's not an English TV show, but it's a YouTube channel, so you can look at that. You can also listen to Grammar Girl. I think Grammar Girl, she has a podcast. And there's so many online that I can't recommend just one. I would just recommend My English Matters because we do our weekly emails, we do our videos. So you can look at that. Papa Learn English, I think. Oh gosh, Kazma, can you correct me? I can't remember the title of his channel. And also Grammar Girl. Kazma watches a lot. Madam Azimah watches a lot. I call her Kazima. Madam Azimah watches more of these English TV shows than me, so she can share with you some more. Let's see. I'm just going to pick the questions that my answers from this Facebook Live has not talked about. Because he says, done sign up. It's the day before my birthday. Oh. All right, let's see, Mazwin. I have a problem when I need to talk in English with a stranger or somebody that I've never met before. Maybe because I'm too shy and not confident to speak in English. Sometimes I can't answer even a simple question. This is what happens to me at the first coaching call. Oh, okay. I think, Mazwin, what you mean is that the coaching call that, because Mazwin is our CWC student, our online course student, and we have coaching calls where we call you so you can talk about your struggles in speaking English. So you don't, when you speak to English with a stranger, you're just too shy and not confident. Just continue applying the tips, and what you can do is you have to be proactive in speaking to strangers. Don't wait for a stranger to talk to you. You have to try to be proactive in speaking to stranger, so that when the situation where a stranger does come to you, you're ready for it. So just practice doing it. Do you think by watching English shows with English subs makes us too dependent on the subs, which slowly weaken our listening skills? Do you think? This is a really good question. I personally don't. I think it helps, because when you are watching it, when you're reading the subtitles, it does improve your writing skills and also your spelling and also your grammar. So you can see how the grammar works. So I don't think it weakens your listening skills. Maybe it strengthens your writing skills more than your listening skills. So, but slowly weaken, maybe not. But I do listen to a lot of podcasts now, and that has helped me a lot in my listening skills. But if your intention is you want to improve your listening and your writing, so it's best to watch with subtitles. And you can also challenge yourself by not reading the subtitles if you just want to improve your listening skills. But doing both can help in both. That's my opinion. All right, let's see. Xiang Hui says, I am a working adult and part-time student. I write in English, but I can't talk well. Even some simple words I also pronounce wrongly. It's very frustrating. Working adult, part-time student. I can write in English, but you can't talk well. Just even some words, simple words I also pronounce wrongly. It's very frustrating. You just have to keep on learning. I just want to share with you that I also prefer writing rather than speaking. I tend to think better when I'm writing than thinking on the spot to speaking. So I just want to share with you that's something that I also face. But the more that I speak, the more that I practice voicing out my opinions, the better that I've been getting, that I get. So just continue, go to classes. Maybe you can take a public speaking class. You can improve. I really believe that you can improve. If you can write in English, you can speak in English as well. Right? So don't give up. It can be frustrating, but what can we do to move past that frustration and focus on our goal to get there? Jeffrey says, need to throw far away, shy. Yeah, throw it far away, right? Sometimes being shy doesn't really help anyone. I grew up shy. All right, so I just want to share with you my story. When I was when I was 6, our family moved to the UK and I was brought into school and I didn't speak for like 2 months because I didn't know any English. And being shy was not helpful for me because there was one time, you know, in the morning when the teachers, they do like a roll call, they do like the register, like the attendance, and they would call like, Amna, are you here? And I would just be quiet because I knew the teacher knew that I didn't talk, but she actually scolded me and she said, Amna, you're gonna have to speak up one day. You know, nobody is going to layan you. She didn't say layan, but nobody is going to layan you if you don't speak, right? If the shyness is not helping anyone. And there was even a point that I wanted to go to the toilet and I was too shy to tell the teacher that I wanted to go to the toilet. And the teacher saw me like jumping around. And she said, Amna, do you need to go to the toilet? And I was like, okay, go to the toilet. So yeah, shyness doesn't help anyone. Okay, Hasya, Assalamualaikum. Can you help me how to pronounce liaise? Because I heard many versions of pronouncing it. So the correct pronunciation is liaise. It's not lias. I know a lot of Malaysians say lias. So the actual pronunciation is liaise. And if you're not sure, you can also Google it. Go to liaise pronunciation and you can listen. There's like a picture of like a mouth there and you can listen to how it's pronounced. Thanks for your question. Mawada asks a question. Okay, this is the last question now because it's almost 1 o'clock and my children are getting restless. My children are upstairs, they're in the room. And I can hear one of them crying already. All right, so Mawada says, is it a mistake if we as teachers use the American pronunciation and accent in schools to teach pupils in Malaysia? Because we all know Malaysia education system applies to British pronunciation. So is it a mistake if the teachers use American pronunciation and accent during the lesson? No, it's not a mistake. I don't think it's a mistake. If that's the pronunciation that you're used to, then just use it. As long as people know what you're saying, then it's fine. If you have an American accent, then use it. If you have a Malaysian accent, use it. As long as grammatically it's correct, you know, there's not much, there's no errors, it's fine. You can use Australian accent, any accent. So that's no problem. So I think that's all the questions that I'm gonna answer. I feel like there's no more questions here. So thank you so much for joining me. I've had so much fun talking to you, and I'm feeling thirsty now because I've been talking so much. I don't have a glass of water with me in front of me, but it's been so much fun. And next week, we're gonna have another Facebook Live at 12 noon Thursday, and Madam Azimah will be taking the stage. So we hope that you'll join us. And please remember to sign up at myenglishmatters.com, where you will get 7 tips to speak with confidence, and you'll get that over 3 days. And then after you finish that mini course, you'll get our emails every Thursday, and you also get emails from us whenever we open registration for any of our workshops, our online classes, or our online course, Communicate with Confidence. And the next registration is for Communicate with Confidence, which is on the 17th of June, Wednesday. So block your calendar for that. We really hope that you'll join us, and we'll be talking more about that very soon. Thank you so much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.